I feel like as of late, books have gotten very serious lately, and not just books. We as readers have gotten way too serious lately. And that's not a good thing. In my opinion, that is not a good thing. And we as readers have to put a stop to this right now. How are we going to do this? Well, I have an idea. So, my idea is we need to stop taking books and ourselves too seriously. What's good, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I really wanted to talk about how we're getting a little bit too serious in the online space when it comes to talking about books. And by serious, I mean serious. I mean, why do we have to have political and social commentary and or like deep, insightful commentary on every single book that we read? I understand that it's engaging to have deeper conversations about books, but I feel like if we're being so serious about books all the time, where's the enjoyment? Where's the fun in that? Where is the fun in just opening a book, laughing, enjoying, and telling your friends, dude, that was really fun, you should read it. That was really fun, you should read it. You know what I'm saying? Where did the fun go? Where did the banter go? And I've been doing a book club on TikTok for the past 6 weeks, and in there we do talk about books in a much deeper manner. We go for about 2 to 3 hours each time, and we really do talk deeply about books, tropes, genres, themes, etc. And at the end of the day, I come out of it thinking that was a really good time talking about books deeply, but then I immediately go back to bantering about books and shitting on books, because I think there's just an enjoyment and a fun factor missing if we're just talking about books in seriousness all the time. You know what I'm saying? So today I wanted to share with you guys some books that I think are really fun, that you don't have to think very seriously about, and you shouldn't take too seriously. I think you should read it and have a really, really fun time, regardless of what anybody else tells you, except for what I tell you, because you should listen to what I say. So the first book on the list is Dating Dr. Dill, which is a trilogy by Nisha Sharma, which honestly, I think it deserves 4 stars, but I've been seeing it gets like the upper threes in Amazon and Goodreads. Basically, Nisha Sharma took 3 Shakespearean classics and converted them into a desi rom-com type vibe. And that is what Dating Dr. Dill, Tastes Like Shakkar, and Marriage and Musty are. They're really fucking fun. Yes, there may be social commentary on growing up as an Indian in the Americas, or commentary, which is the most classic commentary, is the newer generation of Indian kids don't really see eye to eye with their parents, don't get along with their parents, don't really their thoughts don't gel, etc. Right? So there's a little bit there, but it's basically like a rom-com in a book, and and every romance comedy has its sentimental part, but the entire point of the entire book is to make you laugh, is to make you enjoy, it's to make everything feel lighthearted, feel fun. And if we're not having fun, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So Karina and Prem are 2 people with very, very polar, extremely polar views on love. Karina wants this amazing love story romance with her partner. Prem is like, love doesn't exist. Okay, love is is like a chemical feeling in your brain. That's really all it is. Okay, love doesn't exist anymore. They somehow meet. She tells him to fuck off. That goes viral, because what doesn't go viral these days when it comes to telling people off in public? And now Prem and Karina are in a predicament where Prem needs Karina to look like they're together in like a fake relationship, so that he can prove to his investors, like, hey, listen, I'm cool, I believe in love, look, we're in love, haha, blah, blah, blah. And Karina is like, sure, but what do I get out of it? And what she gets out of it is getting her parents off her back, because her dad was like, I'm not leaving you the house unless you get married. And she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, a lot. So now they're in this fake relationship, trying to basically get money on both sides. And there's a lot of fun chaos that ensues. So the reason why I love this series is because Karina has two friends, and then Prem has two friends, and each book is basically how a set of each trio gets together, like Karina and Prem, and then one of the other two friends gets together, or two of the other two friends get together. In the third book, the last set of friends get together, and it's so funny. Each set of books has its own trials and tribulations, their own personalities that are different. It tackles different topics, but all three of them are just so fucking funny. I can't help but laugh out loud while reading these books. So I think you should read them. Now, the second set of books that I want to tell you about is the Songs of Chaos series. Ascendant, Unbound, and Defined. It's going to be a 5-book series at some point. So yes, I'm giving you an incomplete series, but I think it's worth you getting into right now. This, you would think that this is supposed to be like a serious book. It was like a serious tone and a very somber tone. And I'm like, no, it's not. It definitely has a little bit of the lighthearted gloss over it, because basically the commentary here is that Holt, the guy you see here, saved Ash's dragon egg from being discarded, because in this culture, it's all about what role you have and performing that role and that role only. Holt was a cook. There's no reason why he should ever have been near a dragon egg, and he suddenly was. Ash's egg was seeming to be very not normal, and so it was about to be thrown away, because in this world, dragons bond with riders, and they only want normal, healthy dragons to bond with riders. They don't want cripples to bond with riders, is basically how they're putting it. Ash was born a blind dragon, hence the blindfold. This is fucking dope. Okay, these two guys are one of my favorite dragon bonds in a series thus far. But it's not about that makes it super fun. It's really about the dry humor and the witty banter between all the characters, right? Because as dark or as somber or as gloomy things feel, everybody's still trying to make light of the situation. They're still trying to keep spirits high. They're still trying to keep everybody's thoughts uplifted. And there's a character in here called Rake who is a half dragon, because an experiment he did in the past with his dragon went wrong. And so now he's trying to figure out a way to get back to being normal and having his dragon there. We don't know how that's going to happen, but we do know that Rake is a funny, witty guy, and he's probably he's the jokester, jester of the group, of the cast of characters, along with the fact that he's also masking all of his pain and upsetment with humor. I identify with that. I identify with that a lot. But regardless of that, this entire book and series is just really, really fun. That's the best way that I can put it. It's just really, really fun to read. Okay, I don't have to come out of this series thinking, look at this social commentary on throwing away what isn't normal, or not allowing outliers into society, etc. All those things, right? Yes, there's a lot of that. There's political themes, there's social themes, there's mental themes, etc. Right? But at the end of the day, you can read this book on layer 1, surface level, and enjoy and just have such a fun time. And that's why I'm recommending it to you. Ascendant by Michael R. Miller. I think it's great. It's personally becoming one of my favorite series of 2025, and I don't say that lightly. Now, you might be thinking, Arish, what the fuck is the Wedding People doing on your list in this book, right? You can't be serious that I shouldn't be taking the Wedding People seriously. And I'm telling you, yes, you should not be taking the Wedding People seriously. Don't cancel me for that. I'll put you right there. So, The Wedding People is basically a suicide attempt gone wrong, where a woman has just lost everything of hers. She can't find joy in anything again. Her life is so mundane, so boring, so repetitive. Her husband has left her for another woman, and her cat unfortunately also passed away. So she ends up booking a hotel, the last room in this hotel. She takes her cat's sleeping pills, expecting them to act as regular sleeping pills, and goes into this hotel, stays there for one night, and that night she tries to take the pills and just have a casual sleepy night away forever. Until the bride, who has booked out the entire rest of the hotel, barges into her room and says, "What the fuck are you doing? You weren't on the wedding list. Who are you? This is my wedding hotel. This is my wedding week. What are you doing here? And she's like, and you know, the first woman's like, I'm here to die. And the bride says, no, can't do that at my wedding hotel, my wedding week. It's basically a Trina Vega type of situation. And first woman's saying, I don't know you. I don't give a fuck about you. I'm going. And the woman's like, no, you're not. You're not going. So there's this very, it's the entire book is coded in dark humor. So if you're not a fan of like dry, dark humor, maybe it won't land with you. It very much landed with me. It was one of the favorite books I read back in February. And it's basically how this woman had this failed attempt, and she doesn't attempt again because she gets caught up in this bride's nonsense, and how she comes to then find herself again through, you know, doing different things that weren't what she was originally doing. She was an academia professor or something like that, and you know, trying to get out of academia, doing something else with her life, something completely different that she's interested in. And then, you know, how she then affects the lives of the other people in the bridal party. It is deep. It is, right? But once again, I can choose to read this book again and not have to worry about, oh my God, I'm laughing at this woman's failed attempt. You're not necessarily laughing at her failed attempt. You're laughing at the commentary between her and the bride afterwards, right? This author, Alison Eshpach, has set up the book to make you enjoy it and laugh it, along with enjoying some of the themes along the way. Allow yourself to laugh. It's not that serious, right? Allow yourself to enjoy the book. It's not that serious. You know what I mean? So I really think that you should try out The Wedding People by Alison Eshpach as well. I'm going to say it once, and then we're going to talk about it in about 2 months again. This is a funny book. This right here is a funny book. You should read this book and not think that's the most serious thing ever. It is not a modern classic. It is not a debut modern classic. It is a funny series with smut in it. That's literally all it is. There's nothing serious about this series that needs to be talked about, in my opinion. It is comical how people think that this is the like greatest thing ever. Myself included, thought it was the greatest thing ever when I first read it back in 2023 or so. No, or 22 or so. Whenever it first came out. Listen, it's funny. Like, there's so many plot holes. There's so much banter going around. There's so much shit going around. It's not all that serious. It's really not a serious series. Please don't take it seriously. I think if you go into this book trying to take it seriously, you will be disappointed. But if you go into this book trying to have fun, you're going to have so much fun. You're going to have so much fucking fun. Fourth Wing is not a serious book, okay? Xaden and Violet's relationship is not serious. The shit they do to each other, it's not serious, okay? It's laughable at this point. You know what I'm saying? I just had to put this book on the list because I can't let you exist in this space thinking that this is a serious book, because we know it's not. You and I know that this is not a serious book, okay? I don't want to go into detail on the book because I've already talked in detail about this book so many times back in January as well. So if you want more detail on the actual book, you should go watch those videos. But what you should know is, if you haven't read Fourth Wing, you should go into Fourth Wing trying to enjoy the book, not trying to, you know, feel some deep emotional connection of the severity of the political and societal themes in this book. Fuck all of that. Everybody's messed the fuck up. Okay? It's not that serious. 2 more really fun books are Forge Master and Battle Mage Farmer right there. They are of this new genre of books that I've been reading called literary RPGs, which are basically books written like an RPG video game, basically. And I fucking love them. They're so fun. They're so lighthearted. They're so full of banter. And honestly, like the enjoyment that I got reading these books is unparalleled recently. I think the only book that I have enjoyed reading as much as these books was Unbound and Defined from the Songs of Chaos series. Like, they're just so fun. They're not meant to be serious. Okay, find me a serious literary RPG, and I will tell you that I will read it and tell you that it's not serious. Okay, it's full of banter. And Battle Mage Farmer John Sutton 10 years ago gets transported to this new world as a mage and gets swept up in this war. And 10 years later, he has no clue what this impending apocalypse quest he has is. He has no clue why he keeps getting these quests. He has no clue who the fuck even brought him into this world. But all he knows is that his next quest is to retire on a farm. And that is what he is doing. In Forge Master, turns out that Forge Master is like a sequel series to one of Seth Ring's original series called Novaterra, which is also down here. And Novaterra basically acts as, I think, a very good historical foundation for what is in Forge Master. But I didn't know that when I read in Forge Master, so I read Forge Master just on my own without knowing that there was anything before it, and I had a blast, and I didn't even know or feel like I was missing something from any sort of like previous series. So Forge Master is basically a story about this huge titan named Thorn, who has basically become the pinnacle and the apex creature of what is their Earth called Angeril, and he has basically become the most powerful creature there, and he's trying to ascend to the upper world, and something happens, and his ascension goes wrong, and he gets landed on a world he was not expecting to be on, and he's like, fuck. I was the goat down there. Up here, I'm level 3 out of like 12. Like, I'm weak as fuck. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I'm weak, and I need to get stronger. Even though my 2 companions are strong as fuck. This trio, this unlikely trio, has to navigate this new world and figure out how to get to where they want to go, get stronger in the meantime, and not get fucked up. Because they can die here, but it's not that serious. Really, really, really fun series, in my opinion. It's a little bit like DCC, Dungeon Crawler Carl, but not as crass at all. It has become my new obsession. Luffy lost his lightning bolt. No! Oh my god, I gotta put it back. Ah! 1 sec. All right, next up, these 3 books we're going to talk in tandem because they are of a similar genre, in my opinion. We're going to talk about these 3 books. Okay, these 3 books, in my opinion, are some of the most heartwarming and relaxing books to read. Yes, they cover maybe a couple of serious themes, but at the end of the day, they're so funny. They're so fun. They're going to leave you with like a warm hug at the end. You're going to pull up a blanket, a candle, and some tea, or some warm water, or a warm beverage, and read this and have a great time. What books am I talking about? Sorry, I had to do the really dumbass TikTok thing, book talk thing that they do, where they show the white edges all the time. We're talking about these 3 books, right? House in the Cerulean Sea, Bookshops and Bone Dust, Legends and Lattes. Okay, and the thing that I like about this series and these, the thing I like about these 3 books, they're not a series, they're not connected. Well, Bookshops and Bone Dust and Legends and Lattes are, but you know what I mean. The thing I like about these is that, yes, they're in House in the Cerulean Sea, it's pretty deep. Legends and Lattes can be deep, but it's more so cozy. Bookshops and Bone Dust is not deep in any form or fashion. It is just funny. It's just funny. It is fun. All 3 of them are fun, right? I don't read House of the Cerulean Sea and look at Lucy and think, oh, what a poor creature. I think, oh my god, look at this kid who's Lucifer, and he's like, I'm Lucifer, and everybody's like, oh, you're so cute, and he's like, I will bring the end of the world, and everybody's like, no, you won't, and he's like, yeah, you're probably right. I look at the little garden gnome woman, and I'm like, oh, you cute little gardener. I look at the slime bellhop, and I'm like, I need a slime bellhop in my life. Oh my god. But I'm not like, oh, look at these outcasts. Oh, I feel so sad for them. No. They're chilling. They're vibing. They're having a great time. The same thing in Legends and Lattes and Bookshops and Bone Dust. I don't look at Viv's situation and be like, oh my god, I feel so bad for her. No, she's trying to be an entrepreneur. Let her have fun. Let her do her thing. Right? I think books like this, while they can cover serious themes, I would really urge everyone to take a step back and just be like, I enjoyed this book without any serious commentary on it. I had a fun time. I really had a fun time in House in the Cerulean Sea and being on this house with all these different creatures and enjoying my time there. I really had a fun time watching Viv create her coffee shop in Legends and Lattes. I had a really fun time watching Viv heal her wounds and work with this bookshop to help it come back from the brink of bankruptcy in bookshops and bone dust, right? I had a really fun time reading all of this. And Arash is not going to give you social commentary and political commentary on any of those books, right? He's going to say, that was a fun book. You should read it. That was a fun book. My books! Have you ever wanted to read a book that you could just not know what the fuck is going on for the entirety of the book? Because may I present to you The Rune of Kings by Jen Lyons, right? Oh, I always forget that this has a really, really gross book cover of the cover being shorter than the page behind it for this little like lip shelf thing. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. So, The Rune of Kings by Jen Lyons is really fucking fun. It's a massive, immersive, epic fantasy. It is decently serious, but not at all at the same time. It's basically witty, dark humor meets like Game of Thrones, all that kind of stuff, right? Because the way that this book is narrated, the way this book is told to you, already I can't take it seriously, right? Because the way that book one is told to you is Kieran is one of the main characters is in a jail cell with a shapeshifter demon that keeps chasing after him. And that shapeshifter demon is like, well, you're stuck in here, so you might as well tell me a story and amuse me, or you die. And Kieran's like, well, I'd rather tell you the story. So Kieran is recounting his tale up until the point when he gets to how he landed in the jail cell, and then it goes from there in terms of being like in present day going forward versus an entire like flashback tale coming into present day. But there's also a different POV this entire time that's like present day going forward. And it's like, so it's like point A and point B are going like this until point B meets point A, and point A is just keeping the timeline going. It's so fucky that once I started reading it and once I figured out like, okay, so this is just how Jen Lyons is going to tell the story, because she does the same exact thing in Name of All Things, does the same exact thing in Memory of Souls. It's always recounting a tale to somebody else. I'm like, okay, I'm not taking this seriously anymore. I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to turn my brain off. I'm going to be like, just tell me what you want to tell me. Okay? I can't keep track of all the houses. I can't keep track of all the characters. This fucking shape-shifting demon keeps coming up, and I don't know if it's her talking or the actual character who she's trying to copy is talking. I don't fucking know. And I'm like, you know what? No, we're not doing this. It's not that serious, Arch. We're just going to turn our brain off, and we're going to have a fun time. In my opinion, though, it is a fun series. I really do need to finish books 4 and 5 because I've been putting them off for 2 years now. So I really do need to finish them. But I think it is a pretty fun series to get into. But it does require a little bit of brain power to really power through. So if you're not into needing brain power to have fun, much like Sudoku, you might not like this book. Now let's talk about a couple of crows. 6 of them, actually. Just kidding. We're not talking about 6 of Crows. I'm only putting this book up here because I don't have the actual book that I want to talk about, which is King of Scars. So, King of Scars duology is a sequel duology to Shadow and Bone, almost a direct sequel duology to Shadow and Bone. And the reason why I'm saying that one is really fun is, well, let me take you back a little bit. So, Shadow and Bone is a very mid-average trilogy that tackles this world where you have normal people and you have magic people called Grisha. And in there you have basically this fated battle between Alina Starkov and the Darkling. Let's just call it there and move on to the actual what I want to talk about, right? So in this series, you also have a couple of interesting characters, right? You have Nikolai Lantsov, who's a prince. You have Zoya Nazilensky, who is part of the military, and you have Nina Zenik, you have Kaz Brecker, you have Inej Gaffa, like all those people, right? Well, I don't know if like the crows were actually in the book Shadow and Bone. They were in the movie, they were in the TV shows actually. I forget if they were in the actual book. regardless, basically what I'm trying to get at is Shadow and Bone has this combination of dark, somber gloom and witty lightheartedness, and humor. Or sorry. So Shadow and Bone has this combination of dark, somber gloom themes and vibes, and then witty, humorous, lighthearted vibes. And it depends on which characters are on screen, really. So what I do like is, as mid as the trilogy was, it splits off into two really good duologies: Six of Crows, boom, and King of Scars. And in my opinion, we don't talk about King of Scars enough. And I have a bone to pick with the Grishaverse community over there on Book Talk. We don't talk about King of Scars as much as we talk about Six of Crows. And I think that's a fucking crime, because what basically happened, if you really think about it, is Shadow and Bone split off its gloom, somber vibes to Six of Crows, and split off its witty, lighthearted humor to King of Scars. And so if you're a fan of either of those two themes, you have a better duology to read after you get done with Shadow and Bone, depending on what you're into. Guy like me is into everything. I'm pan reader. You know what I'm saying? So I read both of them. I loved both of them. I obviously have Six of Crows. It's a 5-star read of mine. And I think King of Scars and Rule of Wolves are a really great duology regardless. And I think that if you're into something fun, you gotta read King of Scars and Rule of Wolves. Basically, King of Scars is like a more direct sequel, whereas Six of Crows is its own side thing, but still in the same world and kind of still happens afterwards, or around that time. King of Scars is a direct like sequel, so it has the same characters continue. No, really, some new characters, but mainly you're just following Zoya and Nikolai Lantsov the entire time. Me personally, fuck with my boy Nikolai Lantsov. Me personally also fuck with my girl Zoya Zelensky. You know what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, I think King of Scars is a great, fun, hilarious book to read that you don't really have to take all that seriously. Because honestly, I tried to take Shadow and Bone seriously, and it was a really rough time. As soon as I just took it to be what it is and had fun with it, much better experience in my opinion. Next, we got to talk about a book that is the most underrated book that I read back in 2024 called Card Mage Slumdog Deck Builder. And this is such a fun book. There's really nothing serious to talk about in this book besides the fact that it basically reads as a serious toned book. There's not a lot of humor in it. There's not a lot of like witty banter in it, in my opinion, that I read. There's not a lot of like funny haha moments. It is a lot of like seriousness of, you know, slum life. Basically, imagine if you've ever like watched Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, how Yusei grew up in the slums and had to battle his way out using his cards. That's basically what's happening in Slumdog Deck Builder, except instead of one-on-one battles and people are automatically having a full deck of cards that's of their archetype and somehow has perfect synergy, this is a more realistic take where you have like one card and they have deck battle gangs, and the gangs have to battle each other, and depending on which gang wins, the winner gets money, and everybody who put their card into the gang's deck, the 30 card deck, gets like a piece of the pot afterwards. This book, in my opinion, is pretty fun. It reads like a card battler. It's very engaging, decently entertaining, and it just got me so hyped to read book 2. And I actually grabbed book 2 very recently, and I will be reading it. So I will be putting my money where my mouth is. And I think that a book like Slumdog Deck Builder needs to be on everybody's TBR in some way, form, or fashion, just as like a little palate cleanser too. Like imagine reading romantasy or epic fantasy or high fantasy or fae fantasy or nonfiction books or self-help books or classics. Imagine reading Dostoevsky and then reading Card Mage Slumdog Deck Builder in the same month. Honestly, that might be the best reading month of your life, in my opinion. And I'm being so serious, it might be the best reading month of your life, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So I would really pick up Slumdog Deck Builder. If you want more of my detailed thoughts on it, I've already given that in one of my previous videos. But if you want me to go over it again, please let me know. And I 100% will. And I will obviously be going over Slumdog or Card Mage Tournament Top Decker, which is book 2, when I do read it. Also, you guys like my new Indian clubs? I fucking love them. They're like £3 and they're so good. And they're so fun to move with, right? They're just so interesting. I love these things so much, and I'm just trying not to hit myself right now. Boom. Last but not least, I had to end it off with a book series that basically is my version of reality trash TV. It's my version of garbage reality TV, which is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Yay! Arch, I can't believe you're saying this book is so garbage. I'm saying it's trash TV. It's really entertaining, but there's absolutely no serious value to it. Like, this book didn't really add value to my life, but I am glad that I read it, because for those 3 days that I read these 3 books, because they're really easy to read and they're really, really small. This book is really fucking light. Holy shit. Am I getting stronger? Or is this book just really fucking light? Shit. No wonder. It's so funny. It is so funny how hysterically dumb this book is. I love it so much. I love it for all of its flaws. I love it for how not funny it is. I love it for how not serious it is, and potentially if it's trying to be. I love it for the fact that there's just so many books in this fucking world that there should not have been more books after book 3, in my opinion. There were no other stories to tell. Jennifer Lynn Barnes, I respectfully think she's milking the fuck out of this series, because there's nothing of substance really in here, in my opinion. It's all really funny, really dumb, but I think you should read it. Basically, the way that I've described these books to people is, imagine, and I'm talking about the first 3 books. I have not read book 4, which is like a book that came out later. I have not read any of the side stories, none of that stuff, right? Just the first 3 books. I akin them to, imagine cleaning your room and you have a mess and you're too lazy to clean up the mess. So then you just shove that mess underneath the bed. That's book 1. Now, imagine that you have more of a mess, but the space underneath the bed is now full. So you shove that mess in your closet. That's book 2. Now, there's still more of a mess there, and you're like, there's nowhere else to hide this mess. So now you're cleaning up the mess. That's book 3. It's basically a mess of a story that reads as like a murder mystery, fetch quest, puzzle solving thing. And it's not really that mind-boggling, not really that mind-bending, not really that thrillery, mystery, all that stuff. You just read it and you're like, I'm pretty sure this happened. I'm pretty sure that's who I think it is. I'm pretty sure that's why he's like this. Like from page 1, right? And regardless, it's still fun. It's still fun. It's decent. It's a good, like, high key, I think my wife might enjoy this. Don't tell her I said that. Anyways, listen, we're going to end it here on The Inheritance Games, because this is the epitome of it's not that serious. Is not that serious. So I hope you enjoyed this video of books that I think are really not that serious, or just don't take them so seriously. Read the book to enjoy the book. When you get done with it, don't worry about having to go talk to people about the seriousness of the book and the serious tones. Go talk to people about how fun it was. Go talk to people how fun the fight scenes were. Go talk to people how fun the character relationships and the banter was. Go talk to people how witty the dragons were. Go talk to the people about how annoyingly stupid this book was, but it was so fun to read. You know what I mean? Go talk to people about that, right? Let's go away a little bit from talking about how seriously some books are. Okay? Not every book has political commentary. Not every book has social commentary. Not every book is trying to help you trauma bond with it or heal from your wounds. Some books are just made to enjoy. And I think you should enjoy them. Like I enjoy these Indian dumbbells. That being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new, send it to somebody who you think would enjoy this video, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.